Hello there, welcome you, Gaspar here from GP-Airsoft, your fourth favorite GBBR channel. So today we have a very special video and it is the review of the AKM from Tokyo MARUI GBBR. If you're uninitiated, here is GBBR only, so get used to it and subscribe so you can get out of the AG life. This is a review that I'm gonna record right after I had the experience of playing with it. Well, without further ado, let's get to the review. Okay, first things first, this gun is very solid. I cannot stress this enough because it feels completely sturdy on the hand. The only part that has a little bit of a wiggle, it is the dust cover, but this is typical for AKs, and nothing else have not even a little bit of play except by the grenade launcher, but the grenade launcher is a side piece. So the gun's completely solid, and even though in game I kind of fell, but the gun was not damaged at all. So I just fell a little bit and it hit, and I was scared for it for a little bit, and the only damage it was to the paint. And I'm gonna take the flash hider off so that you guys can see that it did not do any damage to the threads or anything else. This gun is very solid, and with the whole 4 kilograms that it has, fell to the ground kind of, and it did not have any problems whatsoever. Now, the first issue that I have with this gun, that is not quite an issue, but it is a big deal for me, it is that this gun is not full travel. If you're asking what full travel is, the standard AK and Rio AK, the bolt goes all the way to the back, and in this case, as most of the GBBR's AKs, this does not do it. As you can see, it goes halfway, so this gun is short stroked, and this kills a little bit of the realism for me, but it's not that big of a deal. I can pass through this. So another thing that I have with this gun is that the spring on the bolt is very weak. So you can feel it going slower. If you point the gun up, you can feel it going slower than if you just had it facing down or even pointing straight ahead. So just to demonstrate you guys here without the dust cover, I have it, and you can actually hear, I'm gonna stay quiet for a second so that you can see and hear that it is actually kinda slow. Because this gun was supposed to work with a weaker gas, so the spring is not that strong, doesn't have to be. Alright, there is a full travel kind of kit for this gun that you can print in 3D, and it is very simple to install and makes the gun, at least for me, a little better. So here I already have the kit installed. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it, but it is basically just 2 little pieces that you can print and you can put it on your gun and you're good to go. The bolts start to travel a little bit more. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. First, you have to take off the buffer. I'm taking off the 3D printer because I already installed the kit, but to get here you just have a little pin and you can take off. Then you have to disassemble the whole spring. You pull it back, then you separate the metal rods and take the cap off, then your spring can come off. After that, you can take both parts of the guides off and you can take the pin that we printed off. Now here you're supposed to exchange, and here we have a comparison, the original and the printed. You see that you gain a little bit of space there, a little bit of extra space for the bolt to travel. So yes, you can just print this and put it in and the gun works fine. But the guy that designed this said that it may damage the nozzle on the long run. I don't know if that's true or not, but the creator said it, just a thing to keep in mind. So for those out there that have access and a lot of money, you can actually buy the full travel kit for this gun, the actual full travel kit for this gun, that it works better, much better than this, but this is a very cheap 3D solution, and if you want it, you can just print and drop it in. So to put it back, you just assemble both parts back, put the buffer on the back, just compress the spring all the way down, and then you can put both metal rods around the cap so that it contains the spring once again. And it is very simple to do. Just one thing that I would probably do if I were to keep this bolt with the kit installed gets out of the rail of the lower receiver of the body of the gun and it just locks. So if you put it upside down for whatever reason, this gun would just lock. So what I would do is just put this, I used an orange tape just so I can show you guys. I have a little foam there just a little bump on the back of the dust cover to keep the bolt down while it's cycling. As you can see right here, it does not, kind of locks back, and I can turn the gun upside down. It does not lock back, so it's just working much better with this just little bit of adaptation. So if you want to keep this, I suggest you do it. And also, this kit influences on the rate of fire. As you can see right here, the rate of fire with this kit is a little slower because it is the bolt's traveling a longer distance instead of just a little bit, so it takes more time to cycle. And you can also see the difference between before and after I did that little bit of foam on the back. And you can see directly here because it is a little slower. And just so you guys can compare, okay, I can no longer keep with testing and with the kit because mine broke. I know that probably there's a better way that you can print this, just maybe a better material or something that it is gonna give you a little more instead of just breaking right away. But mine broke, and I'm glad that I could show you guys all the effects on this before it did. Okay, so now I need to find a way to get to this gun hop up because I want to install this. This is the nub, you guys can see, but this is the nub from BevTech. This was designed by them and it is sold by them, and you can get it on the website. I'm gonna leave the link down below if you ever want to try this. I found this because of Bada Bing. Again, he did a lot of testing on this gun, and he tried a lot of different options for the hop up, and he found that this works like drop in. So I decided to get one and try it out to see if it is just as good as he said on his review. Okay, so after the standard field strip, you have this little lever right here on the front that you can take off the upper part of the handguard. Now you have the lower handguard, that is this lever on the front, and I'm not gonna be able to take it off right here because of the GP-30 mounts. I just have to loosen it a little bit and I can push it forward and take the lower handguard off. Okay, now I found 2 screws right here on the bottom of the gun, and this is gonna allow me to get to the hop up. This just took me a while to take them off, but for you guys it's very fast. Now taking off the barrel, we can see right here the dry firing mechanism. So to take the barrel out, you just pull it back. Very easy, very simple. Okay, so MARUI is standard that you may have this small barrel inside, and I don't like that very much. Maybe I have a issue that I'm trying to cover, but I like long barrels. I'm gonna take off the dry firing mechanism just so it doesn't fly away. You have 2 screws on the side, one for the dial and another one to hold in the hop-up chamber. Taking it off, we have access to the hop-up arm, and on the hop-up arm we can see you have these 2 points of contact right here, and what BevTech did, the nub is designed to kinda flat that out. But before I put everything back, I'd like to change the barrel. I looked through barrels that I had and I found an old WE one that I think came with my G36 that it kinda looks have the same cut, and I'm gonna try it out because it's longer and it is the right size for the AK. It is gonna be just almost exactly the size of the outer barrel. Then that's how I like it. I'm sorry, I can't have like a long barrel with nothing inside. I already have me, so let's put some longer barrel there. When you're assembling this back with the BevTech nub, be careful with your nub. It is kind of a fragile piece. It is not too fragile, but if you put it wrong and try to assemble it back, it will probably, it may break. And if it breaks, you can contact BevTech. They have an amazing support. So there you have it, everything back in place. And I can tell you guys right now, I know that I did 2 upgrades instead of just 1, but this gun is shooting like a laser. It is very straight. In the configuration 1, it is just shooting very straight. Alright, with everything back, I like to chrono this gun, probably raise the FPS, and I stand corrected. The FPS raised just a little bit. I mean, 400 FPS with 0.2 grams, it's good enough for a gun this size for me. There is no problem whatsoever with this raise on FPS for me. But if you have a problem with that, just keep the original barrel or just upgrade to a precision smaller barrel, roughly the same size as the original one, and you won't mess with the FPS on this gun. So this knob, I recommend it. I cannot. It's just such a simple piece and it makes it better, and Bada Bing once again was right. So thank you Bada Bing for the tip. The overall weight of the gun, 3.5 kilograms with the magazine, or for my American friends, 125.3 ounces. I have 826 grams for the grenade launcher, and with the grenade it's around 1 kilogram, which is about 37.2 ounces. So that's the overall weight of the gun with the grenade launcher. It's for about 4 kilograms, 140.2 ounces. And last but not least, the magazine is on the heavy side, just how I like it, with 517 grams or 18.2 ounces. Let's talk about the magazine. I had a little problem in game with this magazine because I did something wrong with it. I could not get through the whole mag. It's because of me. I did something wrong. I wasn't supposed to. So this gun came to me, and the first time that I went to fill it in, I heard a lot of gas leaking. So I looked and there was no O-ring on the fuel valve. So I thought, oh damn. I couldn't believe that Tokyo Marui forgot to put O-rings on the valves. Yeah, now I can't believe that I was so stupid and I didn't do my research. Because you're not supposed to put that O-ring back. So I'm gonna have some trouble here to take it off, because I'm gonna tell you guys, you're not supposed to do this. This gun is supposed to work without that, and that leaking that you guys hear when you try to fill this mags is not a leaking. I'm gonna explain this. Once again, something else that I learned from Bada Bing. This gun has this tube right here on the valve that's supposed to prevent you from filling the whole magazine with propane. Why is that? Because liquid propane is supposed to have a little bit of space in the magazine to turn into gas. If you put liquid propane all the way to fill the magazine, once you shoot, you're gonna be shooting liquid propane, and that is not good for your hop-up or your barrel. So you're supposed to have a little space so that the liquid can turn into gas and you can fire your gun. So that's why you're not supposed to fill your mag all the way up with liquid propane. Now that I took it off, I'm gonna explain to you guys why this is not leaking. So the Tokyo Marui magazine is supposed to do this, and you're gonna listen with me right now. That's not leaking, that's the gas pushing out all the air that was inside the mag. So when you're filling the mag, the air that is in gets out, and once you start to see the gas leaking, that's when you're supposed to stop, because your magazine is full to the correct capacity. So that's very clever. I didn't know that, and I did put in a ring, and I did mess up the efficiency on this gun. So I have a clip right here that I recorded before I knew this, where I had the magazine with the O-ring. As you guys can hear, it's filling without leaking, but yeah, that's not very good. I couldn't get in-game through a magazine, and that was the problem. I was the problem. Lack of knowledge was the problem. So now we're gonna talk about the grenade launcher, GP-30. Start GP-30. Okay, starting with this button, I have no idea what it does. If you know, please let me know down in the comments. Why is this button supposed to be for? Maybe it's just a mock for the real steel. So you have the button on the top that takes out the grenade, and to put it back in, you're supposed to press it too. You have the safe on the left side. On the horizontal position, it is fire. On the vertical, it is on safe, so you cannot shoot. Easy to change it with the left hand. On the right side, we have the iron sights for this gun, which is very nicely modeled. I like this, even though you're not gonna use it for airsoft. It's very nice to have it, and you have the adjustability and everything, and it is very easy to acquire the sights. If you're looking through your AK iron sights, you just have to tilt the gun a little right so that you can have access and clear vision of the iron sights from this grenade launcher. So that's very nice, although I need you guys to help me with something. So I put the gun completely vertical right here so that you guys can see what I see. So as you can see, you have some positions here that are red, and if I put there, you can see that I'm basically firing 90 degrees up, and even if I go forward this, now I'm shooting my grenade launcher backwards. So I have no idea why this is like this, if this is supposed to be like this, if this is a joke, or if this is just a mode for the grenade launcher. Maybe you're giving up and you don't want to be captured, you use this. Tell me, let me know in the comments. So you have this button on the right side that it is a button so that you can take off the grenade launcher, and it is just a button that presses a latch that locks into these two mounts right here. This is the mounts that comes with the grenade launcher that you're supposed to attach to your AK, and I always was curious, how do you attach the GP-30 to the AK, and that's all. Okay, now to the grenade. You may have seen this. I did this because this grenade does not fit in properly, and I didn't find one that it did, so I decided to adapt this, and this is just the right size so that it doesn't stick and it falls off easily. Now I'm gonna take off just to see, you guys can see here the problem. Imagine running around with this. Yeah, not very good. So after I did this adaptation, I just put a little bit of rubber with electrical tape in. It was a little bit of trouble to find the correct position and amount, but listen. It's not 100%, but it's much better, and I could not use this. So the biggest problem with the grenade launcher for me, it is to take off the AK mag, because it is right in the front and you need a little bit of space because there is no comfortable position that you can put it in. The only way that you can put in is by grabbing the magazine by almost the top and putting it in. It is not pretty and it is not very functional. I cannot put the grenade launcher forward because I have the gas block right here, and if I move it forward I have to move it a whole bunch and not just a little bit, so I cannot go. I can put it before the gas block or after the gas block. So I decided to put it before so that it engages with the handguard, so that it has some place to support. And this one, you can see that it barely does. I mean, it doesn't. Even though it is back, it did not engage with the handguard, and I did not want to put tension on this, so I had a little bit of rubber again just to firm it in place so it wouldn't force my barrel or the grenade launcher itself. So I had to put it, and I could not do anything about it. The trigger on this grenade launcher is very good. I was traumatized by the Scar grenade launcher, that it was just so bad, and this is very easy to do. Let's get to pros and cons on this. First thing is a very solid construction, which makes the gun very heavy, and that for me is a positive thing. The magazines are also very well constructed and very well designed, as I mentioned on this video. It has, in my opinion, the best stop on empty mechanism that I've seen in any AK, and the dry firing mode being on the gun is awesome because you don't have to worry about each mag. You just have to know that your gun is on dry fire or not. Bad things on this gun. This gun have a short barrel, which I seem to have a problem with, which makes the gun have a lower FPS than I would like, and that's easily fixable. The biggest problem for me is the short stroke thing, and yeah, that's not changing anytime soon. I don't know why AKs tend to be short stroke, but yeah, it is what it is. And this gun is fairly expensive. Yeah, it is a $600 gun, and it is on the expensive side, so there's that, but it delivers a very great quality that you can't deny. So I'm not gonna get into the GP-30 pros and cons on the gun. I'm gonna do it aside right now, and yeah, let's talk about them. Okay, for me, and once again, it's heavy and it makes the gun harder to carry, to move, but it's just a great feeling. The trigger on it is very good. Like I said, I was traumatized by the Scar grenade launcher, and this is very easy. And if you're not left-handed, it is easy to put on safe and fire very easy with your index finger. Okay, the bad points of this grenade launcher. The biggest for me, it is that it gets in the way of the reloading of the AK, and I love reloading AKs, and this gets in the way. The gun needs a lot of shimming on the grenade. On the mount itself, as you guys saw, that was necessary, and you need a little bit of cushion on the grip to get in contact with the handguard. Probably this was designed for an AEG or something. And the iron sights are kind of a problem, not because they have the suicide mode, but because the nut on it kind of unscrews several times and I had to replace it. So that is it with the grenade launcher and the AK. Pros and cons for you guys. Hope this video helped you. Leave a like and subscribe already, but don't go away because I still have things to say. Okay, I'm gonna release very soon, probably not that soon, a comparison video with this AK with the WE and the KWA as well, GBBRs, comparing all the system and everything on them, so that I can have a ranking of these AKs. I do not have GHK here. I can get GHK, but since I've seen the last video, I do not want GHK. I could get SRC, but I have a feeling that that would not go very far into the list. Probably just hang around in the ballroom. So leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you around.